Line's good.
Never on.
Whoa.
Hard. Release.
Come on, Brent. Line's good. Got real close. The hair high, right? Try and hit 2/3.
Have they saved it for her? Yes, they have.
Welcome to Game of Stones, everybody. I am Sean Graham. Scott, alongside, as always. Hello, Scott.
Sean, I'm back. Oh, wait, that was last time. I'm here again.
Yeah.
But you're just back from a long trip, feeling all right?
Yeah, a little tired. I was across the pond, but so far,
Hi.
so good.
Right,
Yeah. Cheerio. Got a lot of sleep last night, so feeling pretty good. Pushing the 9 o'clock hour here Eastern time, which is a rarity for me after one of these things, but doing pretty good. How about you? You were on the left coast.
Yeah, I went out to the West Coast feeling really good. Man, Sean, it's so great out there. All of our listeners in Vancouver, Victoria, the island, up the Sunshine Coast, man, beauty. It was so beauty. The weather was perfect. I did a bit of a hike one day.
Yep.
It said that I went 6.5 kilometer hike. That's pretty
Nice.
far, I thought,
Yeah.
for somebody that doesn't really like hiking. But yeah, we got some beautiful lookouts. There was no smoke in the air. So all in all, really fun time. Happy to be back, though. We've got like a little crisp spell here in Ottawa before we get returned to the heat. But we thought we'd get together tonight, as it's been a busy month for both of us, and talk a little curling.
Yeah, so we've talked about wanting to do a bit of a summer mailbag episode. I did not get a call out quick enough to actually put together a mailbag episode to let people know this is something we were going to do. We did get one question that we're going to address, but we also thought, well, why not go through curling Reddit, the curling subreddit, and see what people are talking about over on the curling subreddit. I never look at Reddit, but people seem to like it, especially people in Ottawa, people who I work with, talk about the public service subreddit and what they like about that, the OC Transpo subreddit. So things are happening on Reddit. So we thought, let's check out what's going on Reddit.
Let's check it out. Yeah, I go on Reddit sometimes. Another member of my household loves going on the Ottawa Reddit.
Yeah.
So I hear a lot of things from the Ottawa Reddit, but I haven't checked out the curling Reddit very often, a couple times. And yeah, like I'm interested to talk, like scrolling through, we saw like quite a few things that could be pretty interesting. So happy to get into it, but do you want to go to the direct question we got first?
Yeah, so let's start with that. This one was on Twitter from @TYPZK. Question, what do you think of this idea? And I'm assuming this is for the slams. You have the round robin from Friday evening to Sunday evening, the playoffs on Monday and Tuesday nights. That enables more time to watch curling on the weekends without the breaks in play. Scott, what do you think of that?
So the breaks in play, meaning the like across the sheet coverage, or less of the one sheet games? I think
so
that's...
the actual line here is, this would enable me to watch more curling on weekends without hours and hours of no curling to watch.
Okay. So I don't hate this idea. I really like the idea of a longer round robin in the slams.
Okay.
I
mean, this is a shorter round robin, this idea.
So the idea is from Friday night to Sunday night. So that's right now they do 4 draws a day on slams
for 4 days.
For 4 days.
For 3.5 days? Is Tuesday a full day? I have no idea. If they put it on TV, maybe we'd
just Tuesday night.
Okay.
So you could do, so that would give you what?
Start at Thursday afternoon. Yeah, start at Thursday afternoon at like 4:30 or 5, whatever. You do a 5 and 8.
Okay, so that would give you a lot of draws.
Yeah.
I think if we had, I'm trying to think of like the logistics, right? If you had 2 pools of 8 teams and they played 7 games each, so
Yeah.
played a round robin within the pool, that would be pretty good. A different, probably easier solution to implement would be, because the way they do it now is basically a round robin in a pool of 5,
Yep.
where you play like all teams from a different pool. You could do 3 pools of 6, play 5 games, have the top 2 from each pool advance, make it like soccer, top 2 from each pool advance with 2 wildcard positions.
Yeah.
To get to an 8. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
I like the idea of doing the finals in prime time during the week. I feel like they get lost on Sunday afternoons. So I like that idea. I wonder if you could do it just a super long broadcast where, say, Tuesday night, 7 Eastern, one final starts, and then the next final just goes right after on a different sheet. And you just sort of run it that way. Sort of the way tennis does, right? And people always get annoyed if like, oh, well, you got to start at a certain time. Well, no, like tennis doesn't do that. When you're up next, you're up next. The match ends. So if the game only goes 5 or 6 ends, the other teams go. You get out there and you just make sure that sheet's ready to go. So I think something like that could be interesting. The question, of course, would be then the playoffs and how do you run them? If you say do the finals Tuesday night, how do you do quarterfinals, semifinals, quarterfinals and semifinals? Because right now that's 3 draws on Saturday. You don't really want your playoffs to be in the middle of the day Monday, but you could use Monday night effectively for around the rings coverage of semifinals. So I don't know exactly how it would work. I don't think the players would like it.
Nope. And for the broadcasters, like, there's a reason they don't show the first day. I think it's because of costs, right? So if they're devoting weekend resources to pool play, I also think that's not going to fly because finals are more likely to draw more eyeballs. Although I do agree that, especially in the fall with NFL football dominating most sports viewing, that the numbers, like, for me, it's lower. Like, I watch fewer in the fall than I would at other times of the year. So shifting your final to a different day makes sense. Whether Monday or Tuesday are the appropriate days, I don't really think so. But I do agree that having more curling to watch on the weekend wouldn't be a bad thing. And having like more storylines to go around it. Because as a team makes their way through an event, the stories unfold. And if everything's like already unfolded by the weekend and you're like, okay, these are the matchups and that's all you have to talk about, that's not super interesting.
No, I agree. That's true. So I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know. The real right answer is that the slams need to become just more interesting as a thing. And hopefully that's what happens with the new direction that they seem to be taking. Does that involve a significant schedule change? We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. So I like the idea of a change. Yeah. I'm just not sure the logistics of how it would work out. But yeah, I like that idea as a broad strokes.
Yeah. Broad strokes. Good. Maybe it's a bit half baked, but put it back in the oven. And see how it comes out.
Yeah. So, all right, Scott, there's actually another one here. I thought there was only one, but my apologies. Something has happened since this Twitter has changed ownership. It's not as user-friendly. But we got another one. This one from Tony Snow saying, utilizing technology to conduct a requested measurement of distance to the pin. So you have an antenna at the pin and a sensor in the stone, and you can look at it using the referees app. So there you go. This is not bad. It's basically like the Hawkeye system for curling, that you don't have to get out the old analog measuring stick. I'd be more inclined to actually pull up the app than to do a measurement.
Yeah, like I'd be more inclined to look at the app before the shots to be like, who's
I think-
actually closer.
Yeah, I think that's the argument against this idea, is that you'd have to make sure people aren't looking at it before the end is over.
Right. And I mean, that's like not a too big of a hurdle.
At the rec level, it is.
Okay, at the rec level, yeah, but nobody's going to install that kind of stuff in
No.
rec level, leagues, right? Who's buying the special sensors to go into the ice and
Yeah.
all that kind
I'll
of
tell
stuff?
you, there's some cash league players who I know who would push for it pretty hard.
Well, yeah, if we don't have to measure, I totally agree. Like,
Yeah.
don't want to measure. And yeah, there's like really no reason that this technology wouldn't be able to work. So, yeah, I like it.
All right. Yeah. I like it too. Especially if we on the broadcast has it, and
Yes.
we know what which rock is closer, and the players don't. I think that would add some fun depth to the conversations.
I do like that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I don't even know, so I don't know if you even need sensors at that point, if it's really just for the slams and national, international championships, because it seems to me like when I watch golf, or as I said, tennis, I mean, tennis is the Hawkeye system, but golf, they seem to know exactly how long the putts are.
Yeah, they do.
So how can we not get that same? I don't know how they do it, but presumably you could do something similar to curling. I don't know. It's a smaller space.
No, they don't have chips in the golf balls, do they?
No. I would be surprised.
I mean, maybe. Like, how are we getting spin calculations and stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. I've watched some golf videos on YouTube where people have this device right next to them, and they hit it, and it tells them how far it goes and what their spin rate is. I don't know what the technology is.
Huh. Crazy.
But it's just with driving range balls.
Yeah. Huh. Weird. Okay.
So yeah, I don't know, but something along the lines of that could be fun.
I agree. I think that could be fun, Sean. Yeah.
All right. So thanks, Tony, for that question. Now let's hop over to Reddit, Scott, and go through some of what's on here. One from New Monk 2512. My club starts so late. Guys, I see that everyone's club started in August. Mine doesn't start till mid-October. And a lot of the comments are, that's when a lot of people start. Scott, what's the earliest that you have ever started?
I think the earliest is what we start at here in Ottawa. It's the last week of September. But maybe when I was in Victoria, we might have started a week or two before that. I just don't remember. So September has been the earliest. I think maybe there's people that are starting like summer leagues in August and playing, for 6 weeks or something.
Yeah, I think for me, like, it's the same. Yeah, late September is the earliest, and that was a shock when I moved here and started playing in Ottawa that the club started so early. So
yeah, a lot of times
kind of like
it's after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So that was a bit of a surprise to see that. All right, another one from Collie Molly Dolly. Should I wear a helmet if I join my college's curling team? And then should I even play anymore? So this tells a story. An experienced player started playing at 10 years old, wore a helmet until 12. My teammates at the time told me to stop wearing a helmet since they thought it made us look less professional. So I bought a protective curling hat. I wore that for 4 seasons until COVID. Finally came back to curling in college during the 2022 season. I took a year off of college and now is going back to college in January. And then tells a story of playing against his this person's grandfather's friends. They were being a bit aggressive and competitive towards me only. While I was sweeping the rock, an opponent hip checked me off the rock to sweep his team's rock since we hit one of their rocks. That is a sentence with the word rock 4 times.
Wow, this is like really aggressive curling. I've never heard of anyone being hip checked during a curling game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I regained my balance, and then I saw the end of his broom coming towards my head. I almost completely dodged it, but hit me in the eyebrow pretty hard. I continued playing since I felt okay, and it didn't hurt like my other concussions, 3 previous ones. I got a concussion from this, and my stepdad picked me up since I was too weak to walk 1.5 kilometers home. The symptoms started after the game. I failed college due to horrible headaches on exam days and missed some of the tests. I couldn't cancel due to not being able to get checked out for a month. The clinics in my city were full until the new year. This happened in December. 2 months later, I collapsed in my parents' kitchen and was taken to the hospital by ambulance. I waited for 18 hours in the waiting room and walked home since I was getting dehydrated and I was starving. Tryouts are in about 2 months or so. My curling bag is in storage due to my parents still trying to find a house to move into. I could probably easily get the bag. I still have the protective hat, but I think I should buy a gold line helmet. I don't want to fall again due to a concussion. I am going into a program that I will be wearing a helmet the majority of the time. So, a lot in there for sure, but let's take the helmet question. And Scott, what is your feeling on helmets at curling clubs?
I think if anybody wants to wear a helmet, wear a helmet. If it makes you feel better, wear it. There's no judgment from me. I am the only one, Sean, I think, that wears a helmet while playing softball.
Yes, you are.
And
in our league, you're not the only person in the world, I'm sure, who does it, but in the whole world we play in.
Yeah, but and whatever. Nobody ever says anything to me about it, but
no.
That's because I got a ball in the head and got a concussion and was off work for a month. So yeah, that's not great. And if anybody says like, hey, why are you wearing that helmet? You say, because I had a concussion and I don't want another one.
Yeah, that's as simple as that. It's pretty straightforward. And I do think some of the protective hats are pretty good if you are concerned about the appearance of things. But honestly, who cares what people think, really?
Yeah, for sure. And that like is a very wild story. So
so that sucks. That shouldn't be happening at curling clubs. Body checks and getting hit with brooms and stuff. That's no good.
Not good.
No. All right. Another one from Undead Curling, just promoting a new curling movie entitled The God of Curling. I have not clicked on this, but it looks like it is a Korean movie.
Yes.
So we will watch this at some point and we will talk about it.
Yeah, we will. I did click on it and I was like, okay. Whoa, I don't understand anything. But it'll be fine.
I'm sure it'll be good. I hope it'll be good. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, somebody in the comments there, Sean, also talked about Gone Curling, which is a National Film Board film that we actually discussed in an episode a couple of years ago.
Yeah, have reviewed that. That was a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
Like they saved the town through curling.
Exactly, because friendship.
Exactly. All right, Scott, one from Cinder77. New to Vice. Are there any resources I can look into or look at to learn more? Geez, this is okay. Are there resources I can look at to learn a more advanced lens of the game? This will be my 3rd year playing. Last 2 years I've played in a social league as lead. This season I'm joining a competitive league and will be throwing 3rd. I have a basic grasp of the game, but just want to be successful for my team in a role with more responsibilities. I'm looking for ways to improve my throw and get a better understanding of strategy.
I think 3rd is the best position because you get to do a little bit of everything and learn a little bit of everything. So, and you're not doing anything alone. So
Sure.
when you're playing third, you're sort of in the best position to learn from your skip. So I would say like make sure you have a good skip that is willing to take the time to, help you learn.
Yeah.
At the same time, don't be afraid to ask questions during the
Mm.
game. As for resources outside of the game setting, I don't know. What do you think, Sean?
I think maybe watching old games on YouTube could be helpful. Looking at situations, there's the curling puzzle on Facebook that
Yeah.
has strategy situations. Those can be really useful. Pretty sure there are some books. I think Russ Howard have a book about curling and strategies for curling. That would be a place to go look. So I think
Curl to
those
win.
ones, yeah. So those sorts of resources I think are out there to go look at. In terms of ways to improve the throw, you just got to do it. To
Yeah,
be honest,
practicing.
you just got to throw.
And having some specific drills in mind
Yeah.
for your practicing, not just going and throwing the rocks, but like, okay, I'm gonna purposely slide very slowly to see how well I can maintain my balance, or try to put some cones out and slide towards the cones, and then get your hand in a position such that you can like grab the cone as you go by.
Mm.
So that kind of thing, like practice with a purpose, don't just go and chuck a bunch of rocks and not have any sort of goal for the practice.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you got to practice with a purpose for sure.
Yeah.
So this one, Scott actually spoke to me because it's one of the reasons I don't use a stopwatch anymore. Can anyone explain how to disable the alarm on their hardline stopwatch? I could not. I found it very annoying. And when the battery died, I decided I'm not going to replace it and I'm not going to use it anymore. And I am now purely a feel player. I don't use the stopwatch in any capacity anymore, in part because of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think when you're playing in the club, just everybody throws it so different. The stopwatches are not that useful, except for me as a skip. I will time hog to hog to get an idea of how fast the ice is. So, and that's stuff that I'll communicate then to the sweepers to say like, hey, I got whatever 15 and a half on that. And we know, okay, the rock got to the top 12 foot. So that's about the speed. And like, I can sort of convert that into a feel.
Right.
But you're right. When like backline to T line or backline to hog or whatever it is, like those numbers aren't super useful to me.
No. And for most people, I would say at the rec level, everyone throws so differently. And honestly, a lot of rec players throw differently stone to stone themselves.
Stone to stone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So save your money and I don't know, give the stopwatch to somebody that I don't know, wants to play a practical joke on someone and put it in their vent or something so it drives them nuts.
There you go. All right. Scott from Embarrassed Bison 21. If you could play well at any position, which would you choose and why?
Well, like I said, I'm a skip, so I'd like to play well at skip, but if I could play any position, I guess I kind of can. But playing third is, like I said, you get to do a little bit of everything. It's kind of the sweet spot, right? When you're the conduit between the back end and the front end. A lot of responsibility there. A lot of the best players in our game are thirds.
Yep.
Sean, you've always said Caitlin Laws is probably the best player out there.
Yep.
Maybe less so now because she doesn't have to sweep.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think is probably like for my money, like if I could be the best at any position, I'd want to be the best third.
Okay.
How about you?
I think second. I think second is more fun to me than third. I don't really like calling line all that much. So for me, it's second because I do like sweeping. I like playing the front end, and you get more diversity of shots at the second position than at the lead position. But I'm good with either one of those. So for me, it'd probably be second.
For sure. Yeah. I've noticed since the 5 rock rule has really come into force everywhere, that second throw a lot more draws than they used to.
Yep, for sure.
It used to be the theory that, okay, at second you need somebody that can throw the high hard one, make the peels. You think of like Jill Officer or Carter Rycroft or that kind of vintage, and even Mark Kennedy when he was playing with Kevin Martin. But nowadays it's more often the case where I'll ask you to throw a draw on your first one and then maybe clean it up on the second one. So it's for me, when I think of second, I think, I'm just throwing peels, but less so the case now.
Right. All right, Scott, here's one that I found very funny. From Exciting Emu 2141. I recently accidentally burned myself with a curling iron on the side of my face. Happened on June the 6th, so it's been about a month now. There's still a mark on the face. I'm worried it's going to leave a permanent dark spot on my face. I tried aloe vera. I think the mistake I made was, while it was fresh, I used a scar patch and peeled it off. What can I do to make it go away? Will it ever go away?
This is the issue I get all the time when I look up curling stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
What I'll say is that for scars, there's a thing called bio oil, and I think it's like concentrated vitamin E.
Yeah.
And you rub that on scars to make them less noticeable over time.
Okay.
But it will not go away after just like a week of doing it. You should do it regularly.
Okay. There you go. And there were people who actually responded to that in a nice way and not just making fun of the person for being in the wrong Reddit thread. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Scott, from Connect Attorney 3662, beginner curler here, and was wondering what a few sweeping techniques were. The first one is cleaning, or when you just set the broom on the running path. Why might somebody do this, and exactly what does it do? Second one is sometimes when I watch professional curlers, they kind of just sweep or swipe the ice, or right before the ice dies, they swipe it. Is this supposed to help curl? I'm a little confused. Also, I skip and was wondering what the best way to sweep rocks off the back house when overthrown. Right now, just put as much weight as possible on the broom and sweep as fast as I can with the majority of my body weight on the broom. So that last one, yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, pretty much. I think there's probably a thought that if you can get it to curl less, it might go further. So you'd want to be sweeping against the curl.
Yeah.
But honestly, by that point, it's either going to go through or not most of the time. And so, yeah, Sean, what do you think when curlers just kind of like swipe the ice right at the end? What are they doing there?
I think they're obviously trying to get it to curl, and by just swiping it, trying to get it going a little bit without adding distance. It seems to be the trend now that if you can swipe at it, get the rock going without adding the distance of a full-on directional sweep. That seems to be what they're going for. I can't imagine it's super helpful because you can't put as much, or you're very likely to not be putting as much pressure on the broom when you're swiping as when you're doing a full-on tri-directional sweep.
Yeah, I always think of this as like as the rock is coming to rest, and they're doing like that one little like sweep away, which I think is trying to get it to stop. Like try to get it to like start rotating a little more to get it to stop or like curl up, at the end, right? It'll grab a bit and curl up.
Yeah,
that's what it could be like a remnant from the old days when they had the hair brooms and it was like, let's see if we can get this to pick.
Yeah, could be that. Yeah. Which speaks to one of the earlier questions. What is a clean? That's literally just what it is. You're just keeping it clean. You don't want to put too much pressure because you don't want to change the trajectory of the stone, but you also want to make sure that there's nothing on the ice in front of it.
Yeah, and also to be in the position to start sweeping immediately. So if you're just cleaning it, you're already in sweeping position, such that if you need to start going, you're going to be able to react a lot faster.
Yeah.
Than if you were just walking beside it.
Yep. All right, Scott. Last one here. This is from Apple Goes Down. What's your curling club wish list, or wish, I guess? So since almost all curling clubs are currently closed for the summer, I thought this would be a good time to post this. Exclude large capital expenditures like a new ice plant, new building, etc. If you were in charge, or if you were solely in charge, and you could make 1 or 2 improvements / changes to your curling club, what would they be? To get the ball rolling, here are some ideas. More coat hooks on the ice, better selection of non-alcoholic drinks, add a Friday night league. So those are some of them here on the Reddit.
Yeah, those are all good suggestions. I like those.
Yeah. So
what do you
have
think?
a wish list for me? And anyone who's listened to the show or had to listen to me after a game would know that it's clocks, and
Yeah.
it's a clock that counts down the time. So you put up an hour 50 at the start of the game, and when that runs out, you finish your end, and that's it. And to me, just having a visual countdown, having played in it once like that, is such a driver of the pace that's what I would do. And I have, in a moment of frustration of a slow game, left the ice to go. I did have to go to the bathroom, and unfortunately I had a lot of time to do that because the other team was taking forever. And the president of the Ottawa Curling, the then president of the Ottawa Curling Club, was sitting there, and I said that I'd be willing to pay for these clocks.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge capital expense nowadays. I think of like a scoreboard in a hockey arena. That's the kind of thing that you need, right?
Yeah.
And you could make, like, we have a digital clock out on the ice already that says the time.
Yeah, just make it count down.
Why could it not just be a timer that counts down, right?
Yeah.
Or there's an app that goes to a big, huge screen out there.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I agree with that. Just, to add my own little flavor onto here, local beers on tap. That's what I would add.
Okay.
More local beers on tap.
Yeah, I like that. Some of these are actually kind of funny. Well, none of them are, or some of them are serious, but a lot of them were just move the club closer to my house. That's basically it. Yeah, so there you go. That's the curling Reddit, Scott. It's not super active in the summer, as you would expect. During the curling season in the winter, more going on. So very good stuff there. And if you haven't ever checked it out, take a look.
Yeah, take a look. Maybe we'll do this somewhat regularly during the season. Give it a look and see if there's 1 or 2 posts to talk about. Yeah,
so there you go. If you missed anything out, or if you do have questions for us, you can always reach out to us. It's at Game of Stones Podcast at gmail.com. On the socials, we're at Game of Stones Pod, Game of Stones Podcast on Facebook. If you have not subscribed yet, please do. Wherever you get your podcast, likes, rates, comments, all that stuff helps other people find the show. We also have the merch over on the website at gameofstonespod.com with all of our past episodes available over there. So, Scott, as you said, the weather is cooling, at least temporarily, here in Ottawa. Feels like curling season's coming up, and we got an email last week that we're about 6 weeks away from our first game.
Yeah, about 6 weeks away. I'm excited for it, Sean. We're rounded out softball last night. You were unable to join us.
Sadly,
it was really fun. I'll tell you the story because we're here and it's our show. We were pressing a bit. We're playing in this is the bronze medal game, to use Olympic parlance. And we were like pressing a bit. Our defense was throwing the ball around. At the plate, we were just a bit tight, trying to do a bit too much. Me for sure. Some other people too said to me, like, I was trying to hit it to right field because they were shaded to the other side. And, after about 4 innings, I said, okay, guys, like, let's just focus on hitting the ball hard. Wherever it ends up, it ends up. And then we started stringing some hits together, right? I did hit 2 over the fence after I made that comment. So
Nice.
As I was like, don't try to hit home runs. That's all I
You
had to
hit 2
do
home
was
runs.
try to not, and then I did
Yep.
it. But
Nice.
yeah, we were stringing stuff together. But we played 7 innings. We recorded 21 outs in the game. I think there was 10 or 11 force outs at second base.
Wow.
So we were getting on
Yeah.
and then just hitting it to the shortstop or second baseman, and they were making the out at second. It was very frustrating.
Yeah, that is very frustrating.
Yeah. But
So
curling
fourth place
soon-
though. Fourth place
Fourth
is
place.
not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, pretty good for a ragtag bunch of individuals we threw together.
Yeah. So very good. Yes, I was sad I couldn't be there. If Air Canada didn't think that they could turn a plane in 13 minutes, maybe I would have been there, but they thought they could turn a plane in 13 minutes.
I don't understand, Sean. I was looking. The plane was in Montreal for 2 days.
No, the one I was actually on came in from Toronto.
Oh, they did change the plane.
They changed the aircraft, and so the incoming flight was on time and landed 13 minutes, or excuse me, got to the gate 13 minutes before the flight I was scheduled on was supposed to leave.
Oh
So,
boy.
yeah. So there you have it. I missed that, but we are playing in the fall league, so there'll be a couple weeks of overlap between curling and softball before the focus goes exclusively to
Super
the
fun.
ice, and we will look forward to that. But we will enjoy the time in the summer that we have left, and we got a couple shows ready to go over the next couple weeks as we round out August. So we'll look forward to sharing those with you very soon. But until then, keep those brooms on the ice and don't dump that intern.
Make the final.